Welcome back to the show. We're still talking to head football coach Shane Richardson. Coach, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights that you've pulled out from the game. So will you walk us through them?
Absolutely. Yeah, here you'll see it's a punt return where we've got two returners back, and right here catching the ball is L.J. Stroman, and you can see that he actually has to do quite a bit on his own to dodge those first few defenders. Once you give him a little bit of space, he can make a lot of things happen right there. And what we've tried to emphasize with that is to try to just block a couple guys and give him a little bit of room, and he can go. And it leads into this next clip where it'll be a kickoff return, and we had one of our kick returners go down, so we decided to put LJ back there as a fill-in, and it was a pretty good choice on our part to do that. You can see him setting it up on the left side here, and he makes the kicker miss right there, and he actually takes it 100 yards for the only touchdown of the day. So he is very dynamic with the ball in his hands as a returner, and so that really helped us out in the special teams game. Right here defensively, I want to say that this is early in the game, and we kind of got out leveraged here a little bit, but then LJ actually was able to come and make a fumble, a forced fumble right there, and we had good hustle to the ball right there to where we were able to recover it and change the momentum. Again, on defense right here, we've got a sack. We were able to actually get more pressure this year than we had in the past. Offensively, Seth Owen does a nice job right there of kind of just working around the pocket and stepping up and throwing to John Rich there down the field, which had potentially set us up for some points. You see Seth Owen right here actually in the running game, and this was late in the game, and this was a good example for us to look at and say, you know, Seth is really mobile with his legs, and he does a really good job of making those reads, and so we're going to really try to utilize that portion of what he can give us there. And we think that, you know, he's confident enough and he's tough enough to where he'll be able to really take care of the ball and be able to give us some positive yards there.
Well, the game experienced a lightning delay just after halftime that lasted about 75 minutes. How did your coaching staff utilize the break in action, and what do you have to do to keep the guys focused during a long period of time like that?
Sure. No, I think the break actually helped us out a little bit. I think it's hard to prepare physically for the first game of the year. Your bodies are so overwhelmed with adrenaline and excitement, and you really get fatigued a little bit by just that portion of it. And so we went out there was such a change in momentum, and we were running all over the place, and I think guys were a little bit more fatigued in that first half than what maybe they normally would have been. And so I think the break, it really did us well. We had some bananas in there for them, and we just had them take their pads off and take their shoes off, and if they had dry stuff to put on underneath, they did that. And so I think it was well used by them to be able to just rest a little bit. But then what we try to do is just keep it simple for them and just make sure that they knew what the focus was going out for the second half. And I think they really bought into it, and it just kind of gave them a chance to collect their thoughts a little bit and to move forward.
Well, on defense, the Braves got a big night from Laurinburg native Ronnie Moore, who finished with a team best 10 tackles. And Code Black registered 10 tackles for loss, including 4 sacks and forcing 1 turnover. What are some of the focal points on defense this week in practice after seeing that type of performance?
Sure. Yeah, very, very good by Ronnie to be able to step up and do that. He did not play a snap for us all last year, and he had been here 2 years ago and played some linebacker for us, and so that was good to see that. But we felt like defensively we were a little bit sloppy in our fundamentals, and so we're going to get back to just making sure that everyone's communicating the call and what our responsibilities are out there on the field. That was a point of emphasis this morning when we met with the guys. And then the other couple things are we want to make sure that we're getting all 11 bodies to the football every single play as fast as they can go. And so we've got to really practice our pursuit and sprinting to the ball every single play. And then the third thing really is, it's an obvious one, but our tackling was really poor. And so we're going to work a lot of come to balance tackling and making sure that guys are in really good position to where they're not lunging and reaching and getting themselves out of position there. And so those will be the 3 things that we really try to focus on this week.
Well, you talked about this in the clips, but the biggest highlight from Saturday's game was the big special teams effort from senior LJ Stroman, who finished the game with a school record 256 all-purpose yards. His performance included that 100-yard kickoff return that we just saw for a touchdown in the second quarter. And he also finished with 6 solo tackles from his spot in the secondary. What makes LJ such a special player, and is he one of those guys that will lead the team this year?
Absolutely. He was voted captain just last week going into the first game, and overwhelmingly he received the most votes of anybody on the team, and so he will certainly be looked to as a leader. But he's special in the way that nothing really phases him. He is extremely confident. He's not cocky, but he plays with a great confidence out there that he's able to really overcome situations and be able to rely on his physical ability out there on the field to help him and bail him out of really almost any situation. As you saw with the special team stuff, he can really explode, and he's very gifted athletically, of course. And so, but I think coupled with his mentality and his confidence, it really helps him out as a player out there.
Well, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking a little bit more football, so stay tuned.